Some very heartbreaking and tragic news in the world of the NHL today as famed New York Islanders goal scorer Mike Bossy passed away from palliative cancer. Mike Bossy was born January 22nd, 1957. I did a sports catastrophe on him last year. But anyway, I've got to repeat myself. So anyway, Mike Bossy was the fifth son of 10 children. He grew up in a family of Detroit Red Wings fans, a part of Montreal. He was a Quebec Major Junior Hockey League icon for the Laval National. He scored 309 goals in 5 seasons, which was fantastic in the Quebec League. His point total, 532, is still a Quebec Junior Hockey League record. Mike Bossy's number 17 was retired by Arcade Bathurst, which is the where Laval was, now at Arcade Bathurst in New Brunswick. Bossy was passed over famously by many teams in the 1977 amateur draft, including the New York Rangers and the Toronto Maple Leafs, both twice. Toronto did not want to go with him for some reason, and the Rangers went for Lucien Dubois and Ron Duguay. The Ron Duguay pick was good, Dubois not so much. There were a lot of reasons why he was passed over. Buffalo did not think that Mike Bossy was a good checker, so they took Rick Sealing. Cleveland had the fifth overall pick, but because of Bossy's agent, Cleveland decided to go with Mike Crombie. Scotty Bowman regretted that Montreal passed on Bossy, and they took Mark Napier instead. He fell in to the 15th pick, and that was the New York Islanders. Bill Torrey almost picked Dwight Foster, former Kitchener Ranger, but he said that Bossy was a scorer, and Coach Al Arbor said that he could work with him, and it worked. So the Islanders took Mike Bossy, and the Islanders were making strides from an expansion team in 1972 to one of the most feared teams in the 1980s. Mike Bossy was on the Islanders' top line with Brian Trottier and Clark Gillies, making a new line combination called the Trio Grande. His first career game, Bossy scored his first goal against Don Edwards, another former Kitchener Ranger of Buffalo, October 1977. He would break the record for most goals by a rookie player, which was held by Buffalo's Rick Martin in 1972 on February 25th, 1978. Bossy figured he would score 50 goals in the NHL, and he did. He scored 53 his first season, which was amazing. That record would not be broken until 1993 with Tino Solani's 76. Bossy led the league in power play goals with 25 and won the Calder Trophy as Rookie of the Year easily. He even was named the starter for the Campbell Conference in the 1978 All-Star Game. Bossy unfortunately got injured by an illegal hit by Jerry Butler in Game 6 of the quarterfinals against the Leafs. He returned for Game 7, but the Leafs held him in check. No pun intended. Bossy was amazing. 100 goals in 129 games, he became the fastest to do so. And over the first 2 seasons, it's 122 goals is the most. I believe Solani didn't even come close to that mark. Anyway, Mike Bossy was a hero. He scored in overtime for the Islanders against the Blackhawks in Game 2 of the 1979 playoffs. And unfortunately, the Islanders were taken down by the Rangers in the semifinals. However, Mike Bossy went on a tear and helped the Islanders win not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 straight Stanley Cups. Bossy actually became famous in 1981 as being only the second player in NHL history to score 50 goals in the first 50 games of their team's season. He managed to do so on January 21st, 1981, against the Quebec Nordiques, famously scoring 2 goals in the final 5 minutes on Ron Graham of the Quebec Nordiques, in a game that CBC decided to broadcast live after the Leafs-Whalers game from Toronto ended. Bossy would finish the season with 68 goals. And in his first 4 seasons, he had the highest goals per game average in NHL history, .785. Mike Bossy was a legend and all that. And later in his career, he was still scoring goals. Sadly, though, his back would be his downfall, as he would have to retire early in his career. Bossy at the time was the fastest player to reach 500 goals in NHL history, doing it in his 647th game against the Boston Bruins. He picked up .1000 against the Washington Capitals. Bossy would score his 61st goal in that 1986 season that he did the 500 goals, 1,000 points, making it the 5th time he hit the 60 mark. Mike Bossy's back pain would ruin him. He wanted to try in 1987 to come back, but the tests on his back were terrible. He had 2 lower back discs damaged and could not be repaired by surgery. So Bossy had to take a year off. Rumors were that Bill Torrey, the GM of the Islanders, were going to trade him to Montreal, but Bossy declined. And LA always went with Mike Bossy, but he decided to retire. Bossy would retire at the age of 30 with 573 goals, 553 assists in 752 games, all with the Islanders. And his number was retired in 1992 by the team, number 22. Bossy had a legacy for his goal scoring marks. Sure, he didn't score as many assists as goals, kind of like Alex Ovechkin, but Mike Bossy, if he was healthy, he probably would have hit the 600 mark, even 650 by my estimation. Bossy went back to Laval to go into business and joined Titan, a hockey stick manufacturer, as vice president, and was broadcasting for the Quebec Nordiques. Anyway, Bossy did a lot of stuff in the province of Quebec and would join TVA, which is the French equivalent to Sportsnet, Roger Sportsnet, to become a commentator and all that. So he did his job and all that. Mike Bossy even kind of had a hand in the famous CBC special called The Raccoons on Ice, in which one character, Cedric Sneer, the father of the son of Cyril Sneer, wore an honors number 22 in homage to Mike Bossy. Mike Bossy holds many NHL records. A lot of other records, but NHL records. Most consecutive 50-plus goal seasons with 9. The most 50-plus goal seasons and the most 60-plus goal seasons. Well, it started with Gretzky in those marks, from 9 and 5 respectively. Highest goals per game average, scoring at least 200 goals. .762 goals per game. Not even Austin Matthews says that. Most power play goals in a playoff season with 9. Most consecutive hat tricks with 3, which is hard to do back-to-back games with a hat trick in the first place. He would lead the league in goals only twice in 79-81, despite his